chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerned. You hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you. From national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, Conversations for the World, the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. Yes, I am Sabrina, and you're in tune. You're locked in. You're there. If you're seeing us, you're live. You're in tune to Sabrina Speaks. And we have a big show lined up today, as we always do. But today is extra special because we're celebrating with our government. And that means we're celebrating ourselves. So before we jump into our news, weather, and community updates, let me tell you, because you're going to want to stay locked in for this episode for sure. And we know our loyal fans and listeners, you're dedicated, you're loyal, and we appreciate you. But tonight, may have heard it, it's in the air, it's all in the buzz, but we're also going to be marking and celebrating the 1 year since the NCFC government took office. And what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be diving into their powerful theme along with them. Yes, moving forward with meaningful momentum. Yes. What does that momentum look like? Where is it taking us? And how is it shaping life for Caymanian families, business, and communities? These are all the things that is all packaged into this whole special segment, and much more to come, hopefully this week, as they join us one by one. Because later on in the program, I'm going to be joined by Honorable Premier André Ebanks and Minister Isaac Rankine for, I wouldn't say fast pace, but just the opportunity to engage with them and celebrate with them for this milestone. And looking back, looking forward in conversations, what is in store, what plans are on the horizon. So you don't want to go anywhere. Please, please, please don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe, and tell your friends and family we're live. And also remember, the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the guests, or the host. This program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. All participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully, and any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. Listener participation implies acceptance to this disclaimer. Again, please make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe this page with your friends so you're always notified and never miss an episode of Sabrina Speaks. We know sometimes it can be a little challenging finding us, but sometimes all you got to do is to look on your Facebook if you're on Facebook and you click on Reel, which is usually above, and you will see us pop up right there. But you don't have that issue if you're liking, if you're following us, if you're subscribing us on whatever social media platform you're viewing us from right now. Just follow. Then you don't miss an episode, because what we're going to be doing here, we want to keep in touch because we're building a community and you're definitely part of it. Yes, yes, yes. Well, all right, Cayman, let's get into the weather, the news, and we even got some community roundups for you this evening as we build the space here on Sabrina Speaks. Yes, yes, yes. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for this evening, thanks to our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Here's your evening, tonight and tomorrow's weather forecast. This synopsis is calling for residual moisture continuing to linger across the Northwest Caribbean, along with low-level convergence that will support the chance of a few isolated showers at times through the next few days. A ridge of high pressure will continue to weaken tonight, bringing light winds and seas. Now, radar imagery shows scattered to numerous showers in and around the Cayman area, moving generally westward. The forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s and winds will be easterly 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tomorrow's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperature will rise to the low 90s with a heat index of near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be easterly 5 to 10 knots in the morning, switching to southeast by the afternoon. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. There will be a low tide this evening at 6:53. Tomorrow, a high tide at 1:47 a.m. and another low tide at 8:35 a.m. Sun will set this evening at 6:54 and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 5:49. Now, the outlook is calling for a gradual increase in winds and seas from Friday as the ridge of high pressure begins to build over our area. The chance for some isolated showers will linger through the next few days as moisture continues to linger across the region. There you have it as you're planning your evening and definitely planning into tomorrow. That's your weather forecast for tonight and into tomorrow. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I see you all coming. It's good to have you. Yeah, don't forget to like and call a friend. We're going to be live. We're live and we got some new stuff in store for them this evening. And yeah, we got guests too. Let's put our attention now on what's making news this evening right here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. The Cayman Islands government is mourning the passing of former Chief Secretary James Ryan, who died on Tuesday, May 19th. A proud son of Cayman Brac, Mr. Ryan dedicated 39 years of public service, rising from Deputy Chief Secretary in 1992 to Chief Secretary, now known as Deputy Governor, in 1994. Serving with distinction until 2004, the government leaders say his steady stewardship helped modernize the civil service and shape the systems that guide public administration today. Flags will be flown at half-mast on May 20th in his honor. The National Coalition for Caymanians Government has released its one-year report, Meaningful Momentum, outlining key achievements across all three islands. The update highlights progress on legislative reforms, affordable housing, cost of living support, digital services, and record tourism performance. Premier André Ebanks says the administration has advanced all 7 outcomes in its strategic policy statement and remains focused on modernizing public services and empowering Caymanians. The report also details ongoing investments in education, infrastructure, and community development. The Ministry of Health is monitoring the World Health Organization declaration of an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda. While international agencies note uncertainty around the true number of cases, the risk to the Cayman Islands and the wider Caribbean remains low. Enhanced screening for select flights begins Thursday at Owen Roberts International Airport. Now, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hilary Wolf says Cayman's public health monitoring and response systems remain fully active and capable of scaling up if the situation changes. Travelers arriving from affected areas are encouraged and urged to cooperate with screening and report any symptoms immediately. In other local news, police are investigating a robbery that occurred early Tuesday on Denham-Thompson Way in Georgetown. Shortly before 1:30 a.m., two masked men arrived with what appeared to be a firearm and a sharp weapon, assaulted a man outside a residence, and demanded cash. The suspects then entered the home, stealing money and personal items before fleeing. No shots were fired, but the victim was taken to the hospital with head injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact Georgetown Police Station at 345-949-4222 or submit anonymous tips via Crime Stoppers. In other local news this afternoon, Heritage Month 2026 is heading into its final week, and there is still plenty to enjoy across all three islands. On Thursday, Poetry Nights takes place at the Cayman Islands Collection Center. Saturday brings a One Carnival Road March on Seafarers Way, plus the Caymanian cooking class in Cayman Brac. Now, Cayman Art Week runs 26th to the 31st, and the Heights takes the stage from the 28th. Then on Saturday, on May 30th, the Human Library opens at Georgetown Public Library, and celebrate Caymanian culture, creativity, and community all week long is definitely at the top of the list, and everyone is encouraged. I'm definitely looking forward, and it has been a jam-packed month so far. And thank you and kudos to all of the teams there who's made this a successful month and continue to see this grow from strength to strength. Let's turn our attention into what news is making regional this afternoon right here on the Sabrina Speaks. The United States has announced charges against former Cuban President Raul Castro in connection with the 1996 shoot-down of two humanitarian aircrafts. Now, the development comes as the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio released a video message to the Cuban people, accusing the country's ruling elite of corruption and offering what he called a new path, including a proposed $100 million aid package. Rubio also criticized Garcia, the powerful military-run conglomerate, and said any assistance must be delivered through independent charitable groups. Also in regional news this afternoon here, a Four Seasons branded Airbus A321neo LR made a historic first ever arrival in St. Kitts today, completing a 7-hour flight from Marquette. Now, the aircraft is part of the Four Seasons private jet experience, an ultra-luxury globe tour that carries just 48 guests on all-inclusive itineraries priced from $159,000 per person. Now, travelers stay at Four Seasons properties, including the resort in Nevis, for this leg, with curated excursions, dedicated concierge service, and a fully reconfigured cabin designed for long-haul comfort. Now, there you go. I wonder when they're going to make the Cayman Islands their stop. Let's start our attention over to Jamaica this evening. Yes, because Jamaica is set to establish the Caribbean's first dedicated training institution for domestic workers through a new partnership between the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the Jamaica Household Workers Union. Minister Pernell Charles Jr. announced during his sectorial debate presentation, he says the initiative will strengthen skills development, improve occupational safety and health awareness, and create stronger employment pathways to elevate standards across the sector. Across the pond, we make our way to the United Kingdom this evening because guess what and who's been busy? The Queen. The Queen spent the afternoon exploring local businesses in Royal Hillsborough, meeting owners and staff at several much-loved spots, including Parsons Nose Pub, the historic grocer E.R. Wilson, and Arthur's Cafe. Her Majesty also greeted residents who lined the village streets. Now, the visit highlighted the strong community spirit of Royal Hillsborough and celebrated the small businesses at the heart of local life. We continue to keep the spotlight in the UK this year because the Princess Royal, joined by Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, has hosted the Not Forgotten Association's annual garden party at Buckingham Palace. Now, the couple spent the afternoon meeting military veterans, serving personnel, and the volunteers who support them. The Not Forgotten Association has provided more than a century of assistance to veterans facing injury, illness, or loneliness, and today's event honored that ongoing commitment to their well-being. There you have it. In our closing this segment, we put our attention on the business market report today for May 20th, 2026. Global markets closed higher today with the Dow and S&P 500 and even NASDAQ all posting solid gains on easing oil prices and improved investor sentiment. European indices also advanced while Asian markets ended mixed. Oil prices fell sharply and gold held slightly lower on the day. Regionally, Jamaica and Trinidad saw modest upticks in their main market indices. Here at home, Cayman's financial service sectors remain steady with continued confidence in regional investment activity. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And we take this time and we say happy birthday to everyone who's definitely celebrating a birthday today. It is good to be with you. And we want to celebrate that with you as well. You could be celebrating also an anniversary. Yeah. What do you think about that? Whatever it is you're celebrating, we want you to know that we are here with you and we are celebrating and sharing the love with you as well. And we just want you to know that from all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks family, we are going to support you. And we send lots of love on this day as I get my next segment here lined up, because you got to know what's happening in the community, right? Of course. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks.
Yes, I want to say a shout out, happy birthday to my special friend and my views when I didn't have none. Betty Ann Whitaker.
Okay.
May God bless her to see 68 more. She's a big 6'8" today. I want her to see 68 more or more because she's my good friend and she was the one transporting me from Health City to down here when I didn't have wheels. So can't forget her. So may God bless her and she see 68 more. Betty Ann Whitaker, my good friend.
There we go.
Juice Lucis, we called her because she's full of
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Happy birthday, Betty Ann.
She don't have no wheels now, and I wish I could have buy her a car, but anyway, God bless her. She can get one from the good people always prosper. It's a good come to those who wait.
That's true. It's the thought that counts, and I'm quite sure much love, and she appreciates every bit of that. Thank you for sharing the love, Michelle.
All I had to do was call to say you call and we haul. I say, yes, I hear you. That's what friends are for.
That's true. That's true. All right, my love. Thank you for joining us.
Tell me this morning, I thought you remember my birthday when I said, child, you told me, but I got so much stress that it's lucky that I remember my own. But anyway, I called her, whatever.
Yeah. Anyhow, thank you. Yes. You shared the love with you.
God bless her to see 68 more, and I'll be 136.
God dug it. All right, my love.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Miss Shelma. She's a memory bank for us. She helps us. And that's what I love about this space. And also with the birthday shout outs, anniversaries, and all of that, we also have to recognize that there are a lot of people in our community that are mourning the loss of a loved one. And we just want to, we send our sincere condolences to you as you navigate this difficult time. Our thoughts and prayers, sincere condolences go out to you from all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks family. Yeah. As you continue to come in, ladies and gentlemen, we got to know what's happening in the community. And yes, I want you to know we got to keep you abreast. And this is shouting out to Little Cayman. Pay attention. Step to the front of the class. Cayman, a vehicle licensing visit. Yes, that's going to take place for the month of May and June. It's posted right here. On Thursday, the 28th is coming up. And then you have the 11th of June, another Thursday, and the 25th of June. And all of these visits will take place from 9 until 2 p.m. That will take place at the Little Cayman District Office. You can also use the online portal, and you see that here. www.dvdl.gov.ky is encouraged for renewals. So yeah, it's easy, and it's really, really easy. That I love that, to be honest. I really love this portal, especially if you don't need to get an inspection. And even that, you just time it well and you pretty go. So kudos to the team out there. This has really, really improved. It just shows the ease of doing business with us. Other news that I want to, community updates. Hold on here. Other updates. Here's a traffic update alert that I want to let you know that this is still in effect this week as improvement works continue in the heart of Georgetown. Now we are seeing here that Main Street in Georgetown is temporary. Only one lane is working. One lane is closed, and pedestrian crossing closures that took place from the 19th from 8 through Friday the 23rd at 6 p.m. Now, detour signs and cones and safety fencings will guide everyone. So we're just urging you all to please, please, please just exercise caution when you're in this area. Also, we see where the RCIPS is inviting residents to attend a series of district community meetings that's taking place across the Cayman Islands. You see the schedule up here, and it kicks off from Monday the 25th of May from 7. That's over there in Cayman Brac. And we go all the way down to West Bay. And these sessions will allow the public to raise concerns directly with the Commissioner, Kurt Walton, and the RCIPS Senior Command Team, and hear updates on policing initiatives aimed at strengthening public safety. So you want to look at, and I'll keep repeating these as we go along here in our community segment, but all residents are encouraged to take part, and you can see the full schedule of events are here for you to take advantage of. So screenshot it, and we will definitely keep you gently reminded about what's going on. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Sabrina. I know that you are still doing your preliminaries, and very soon you will have the premiere, so I'll be very brief. I'm just trying to remind you to ask the Premier and the Minister about that issue we spoke about yesterday, the one about grandfathering in. Mm-hmm. Because today I called another show when the Honorable Kenneth Bryan and the Honorable Roy Tatum were on. And I said, what's your understanding of it? Their understanding of it is also that nobody will be grandfathered in except those who have applied or are going through judicial review. Now, that is very, very different from what the Premier was saying, because the Premier and the Deputy Governor were very clear that it won't be retrospective, according to their understanding of retrospective. Everybody's period of time will start in May, and then you count 9 years after that. They said that very clearly on multiple shows. Now, what I'm hearing, and this will be my last real point on this, what I'm hearing is that the government has appreciated that people want this to apply to everybody, including those who came before the law is passed, but that they have decided that they don't want to make it clear in the law because they don't want repercussions. And the rumor that I hear, and I must say it's a rumor, that I have no inside information. I understand that what they want to do is they just want to leave it like that, do it administratively, and if somebody challenges it, then the court can decide whether it applies to people who came before 1st of May or after. Because that way, then politically, they can say, well, whatever happens, it was not us who did it. That's the rumor. So,
well,
yeah, so...
if the moment presents itself, which, of course, if it's making the airwaves, we will definitely bring it up. I see your WhatsApp, so I'll definitely, it's a reminder for me. But yes.
Yes, please. Thanks very much, Sabrina. I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And our final community update here, there's going to be a plant clinic by the Department of Agriculture that's taking place on Saturday the 30th from 9 until 12. And that's going to be happening at 181 Lottery Road, DOA office. That's the Department of Agriculture on their front lawn. And they're encouraging persons to come out and experience the plant clinic live for yourself. These are all the things that will be happening here. Yes. And, what's wrong? I mean, for all of you green thumbs, Connie and Donnie and everybody else, poor me, I need to be front of class. Oh boy. But yes, this event is happening on Saturday, May 30th from 9 until 12. I want to say hi. Hello, North Carolina Love is in the house. Connie, good evening as well. And you're sharing with us beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pictures this evening of your Cayman orchid. Is this their blooming time now? Because I see I'm going to be sharing another picture that Dawn has shared with us that hers looks like it's getting ready to bloom as well. Beautiful, beautiful. I can see why people go crazy over these, but they take so long and they're, to my humble opinion, they're delicate. But anything called plants is delicate around people like me. I just don't do good with them. And Donnie is sharing the love as well. Look at that. Desert Rose. And here's, that's a beautiful one. Ooh, these are so beautiful. If you could just save them and they don't die. And then that's Dawn's, that's a banana orchid. See, I figured that one out. Yeah. So Donnie shared with us, and see, hers is getting ready to bloom as well. I can't wait to see close up pictures of these as well. Thank you, ladies, for sharing the love. You're always brighten this section of our Sabrina Speaks segment. My content creators in bloom. You guys are budding content creators, and I want to tell you right now, we appreciate you and your contribution like you would not believe. I'm just letting you know that for now. So yes, Andrew, good evening to you as well as we continue to build the momentum here on Sabrina Speaks. Get ready for our guest who will be joining us momentarily to hear what's in store as they celebrate this 1 year. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine 1 year already? Yeah, I tell you guys, 1 year already. Remember, the end of this month will be 1 year for the Sabrina Speaks show. Yeah, that I was thrust in the front of Cheekaliki bus. Sink or swim, she said. Hey, Carol's in the house. You see, I kind of tire up. I did something today. Oh, Lord, but the front. Oops. Yeah, I said that. Hey, Donnie, how you doing, my love? It's good to have you here with us. Alfred Reel is also here as well. Good evening to you, my sweet. And Damian Henry, UK's in the house, staying up late. And let's see what words he has for us today. He says, good evening, all. True strength is not defined by storms that strike us, but by the unbreakable vision that divides us forward. Progress ignites the movement. We chose clarity, compassion, and unwavering hope over fear. Every setback is a seed of destiny. And with patience, purpose, and faith, it rises, transforming into an unstoppable forces that carries us towards the future we were meant to build. How sweet of you, Damien. Thank you so much for sharing that. You and your loyalty and just, keeping us all up to date. You are more than, yes, you hear me now? Yeah, I need being in front of class. Oh, yes, front of class. Well, just letting you know, all of you green thumb people just go. You never know what you can learn. The yellow one, tell Miss Dawn to link me. Need to visit her nursery. Well, there you go. Donnie is live. And so, Donnie, you hear her. There you go. You can link up and you can visit her nursery there in Lower Valley. And you can see all the good stuff that she has. Barbara G's in the house. Good evening, Miss Barbara. How you doing? Hope you're still, are you celebrating still or what? You celebrating with your grand one? I hope you had a really, really good birthday for the record. Hey, Miss Dorothy McLeod from Florida Love. How you doing? You guys have been getting some torrential downpours over there the past couple of days. Please send some this way. We need it, even though I don't like the froggies. But yeah, we don't mind. We don't mind at all. But it's good to have you all join us here this evening. And yeah, there you go. See there? Connie Bonnie, she's answering you. Look at there. We're doing connections. We're doing the hookups. We're going to be making sure we celebrate all of our peeps right here on the Sabrina Speaks platform, keeping you all informed and up to date. Yeah. Yes. What she says, come anytime. Might get a free gift. There you go. We not gonna tell nobody any secret. Just say you heard it on Sabrina Speaks. That's the secret. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Donnie. But the two of you guys are just something. Thank you so much for the content. Hey, Donna, how you doing, sister? How's my brother? How's the family? How the grand ones and everybody over there? So good to have you join. You know, that's so. I know you guys are locked in, even if you don't comment. But I'm just letting you know that I appreciate all of you and enough love, enough love. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, to all of you. Okay, she said she will do, Donnie. So the connect is made. My job here is just getting started and more to come. So all of you, if you're loving a lot of that is being shared, oh, yeah, for God's sake, one of them. Thank you. That's so sweet. Dottie sent me a message saying that she got a gift for me too. No frogs, she promised. Oh God. Oh Lord. Yes. Thank God. Yeah, that's good. Maybe we can make that a date. Remember, we got to sit down and just chill out and catch up with old times. So who to tell? Yeah, who to tell, girl? I'm really looking forward for those connects. Well, we could talk some foolishness back in the day, you know. That's what it's all about here, Cayman love. But yes, as we continue to embrace all of you, please don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And yes, I will, my love. I'll forward that to her. And yeah, so that you don't miss an episode. Like I said, if you were having some challenges, just finding these lives, sometimes we're under Reels and we're not on Facebook main page. You just click on Reels. Sabrina Turner, community activist, or CMR platforms, we're streaming live. But sometimes I'm going to encourage you. There's some stuff coming on board for the new year and for the anniversary. I'm going to be doing some, not a new branding as such, but I'm actually putting myself together now that I'm getting a little bit more comfortable in the space. So we're going to be doing some minor changes, hoping that will make you find me a little easier. And you know, at the end of the day, it's easier to locate me instead of it almost appearing like a personal page, but you see Sabrina Speaks bang right there. So I'm going to try to make sure that we get the search engine sorted out, because there are going to be times that possibly I'm going to be extending our shows here, or we could have independent shows as well. But it's more if we have to continue beyond time, and I'm not cutting in to any of the other content creators' times, that we would be able to continue going live and streaming. So you want to follow Sabrina Turner, community activist, in the event that I have to jump off of the CMR handles so that I don't interrupt any of the other content creators. You want to like and follow either YouTube or Facebook for the Sabrina Speaks, so that you don't get disconnected and you're trying to search for me. If you're following from now, the transition was what I'm being told should be easier, but we're going to hold your hand. We're going to definitely let you know how that goes as well. So that's the whole idea behind moving forward as we embrace this new path going forward. And yeah, so we are going to excited for what is coming. Our guests, we're just waiting on our guests. And we're going to get all the updates as we follow. Sounds good. Yeah, because sometimes you think I don't see on her, or what? I see you want the extension. And you know, out of respect, it gives us the flexibility. That's the one good thing about this platform, is that we do get the flexibility. And there may be times maybe we just want to go live and we don't interrupt other content creators here in this space. But anytime we want to make sure that CMR family is included, but it gives us the flexibility because Bridge Media is independent and we're sharing the space for the Sabrina Speaks. But who's to tell? The sky's the limit here. But we don't forget the bridge that takes us across. And yeah, but I could be honest with you, it was one time I tried it, and the conversation was that good that I literally had to jump off. And we continued, and a lot of people struggled to find me. So no, you're not live. It's fine. A lot of people struggled to find me. I see you. It's only me seeing you guys right now. My guests are just in the background getting ready to get started. So yeah, but a lot of you struggled to find me, and this is why it's taken me a little time now, and I think the time has arrived as we continue to build a space, and we just do it like that. But if you start following from now, from what I'm told, the algorithms will continue to follow, and the transition will be that much easier. So yes, we're all about going to talk about and have our guests here. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the Sabrina Speaks podcast that is broadcast every Monday to Friday, from 5 until 7, live here on the CMR platform channels. This evening, today marks 1 year since the National Coalition for Caymanians, the NCFC government, took office. And we're going to be joined this evening by the Honorable Premier and the Minister as well, Minister Isaac Rankine. And I know he and his team, OMG, they have been busy this month. It's just kicking off in high air now for what's in store for the rest of the year. And I know he like that culture thing, you know. Oh, yeah, he like that culture thing. You can see him now in that hat. Oh, yeah. He like all of them things. So he is in his element. And this is why it's so important when you're forming government that you actually know the strengths of your team. Because I must say that this really falls in line with Minister Rankine, because he is a man, yes, of the soil as them, but this culture thing, he has had his hand in that for, I must say, not timelining the old, yeah, not timelining it, but it's been a while. It's been a while. He has been involved with culture. And you can see it. You see the love, you see the passion. Carafesta, I'm excited to hear if there's anything in store. Will we ever host Carafesta here? Will he get the funding, the budget? I'm not really trying to poke the bear or trying to uncover anything that is closed, but I just advocating in my own little way that maybe we can see the importance of it, and maybe he can get the funding that we could do that here. Maybe the Four Seasons plane may bring in their high network people just for Carafesta being celebrated here. Wink, wink. But yeah, the sky's the limit. The opportunities are endless, but understanding how government works, you got to have this funded. And we have explained that here on this platform, how that one pool of money gets shared. And this is why it is good that we break down these accomplishments of this administration of a coalition government for the first 12 months since they have taken office and have come together, and show you what they have accomplished. You may feel that it is not touching you as yet, but some of the things, policies, legislation, and laws you don't feel immediately. Some may need some more clarity, as we heard the first caller alluded to. And then there's some that is in the making that you will not see bear fruit for a little while. So it is good to hear them. It's good to see the document as well. And I will share the link with you so that you can see this document for yourself digitally. And I have it here as well in its form, page by page. So yeah, it is a beautiful spread. It easy read, very easy read. And it just shows what they've been doing. So for you that says, some of you are like, well, I ain't seen what my MP is doing in my country or my district, and I'm not pleased at all. Yeah, it's a balancing act, and I'm not speaking for any of them, but let's hope that this gives you some sort of semblance where and what they've been doing from a national stage, from a national perspective, hoping that eventually that you will feel the positive effects and impacts that they are having on our community as we continue to navigate this way forward. We don't want them to fail by any means, because when they fail, we all fail. And that is not an option here. So we have to be very supportive, and that's what we're going to do. Now, you know that this weekend, I said it, K-Mass, yeah? one parade, one KMAS roadmap is out, guys. And we want to make sure that we share this with you. Let me share this with you as we wait for our guests to give us the thumbs up that they're ready. I will share this all with you. It is one stretch. I know that you have seen some graphics, but I'm just making it clear right now that it is one stretch. So they're not coming into the inner roads at all this weekend. They're starting, let me post this up here, from Memorial Avenue. Yeah, they're actually staging, meaning they're all congregating there at Memorial. So they're coming from town and they're walking to Public Beach, West Bay, Lime Tree Bay area that way. And they're just walking straight along Seafarers Way, Harbor Drive, and go all the way down. So you can line the entire Georgetown Harbor all the way to Public Beach, and you will catch a glimpse of them in all of their outfits and feathers and strings and whatever else not. So yeah, I don't know. I will probably share a picture with you guys of me one year that I jumped. Yeah, and that was the best fun that I can tell you I had in a long time. I really had a good time when I did do it. And but yeah, so there you go. This is the roadmap, and we're going to be jumping. No, I won't be jumping this year. I could try to behave myself. Yeah, so that I don't end up on CMR. What a mess, huh? But yeah, this is the roadmap. So you don't have to worry about there are certain roads in the center of town that's going to be blocked. No, please don't. This is just all of Harbor Drive, straight down 7 Mile Beach Road. You want to go. So if you want to go hang out at your local watering hole, you can start from, let's say, Cabana. There's the other one that's always having the boogie nights. All of them along there, Peppers, everywhere, wherever you like to hang, Fidel, wherever, it doesn't matter. This is one carnival, there's the map, and we're just going to have a heck of a time. So I'm hoping that everybody just goes out and supports this event. It's history in the making, and we just have a good time. If my guests are ready, give me a thumbs up. Got your breath? You ready? Ooh, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Mm-hmm. Well. So we're getting ready for our guest. Our guests are ready. Good evening, one and all. Let's go live and bring our guests into our virtual studio. There you go. Good evening. Hi, welcome, one and all.
Good evening, Sabrina. Good evening, Caymanians and Caymanians overseas.
Yes,
good evening,
good
Sabrina. Good evening, Caymanians, and good evening, Caymanians everywhere within listening of this podcast.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's so good to have you with us for this conversation tonight. And let me just say straight up, congratulations. You made it a year.
Thank you so much. We were talking earlier on CMR. We almost looked around. Has it been a year? It's just completely flown by.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly has, Sabrina. But let me just address one certain thing with you just now. You didn't want to timeline me.
What is it?
You think I wasn't listening to you, huh?
Premier, you were not there. I was just trying to timeline him. I would go and say he old, but I didn't want to do it. It just goes to show you, exactly how we are. But it's not to lose.
I was like, I wouldn't want to be there.
No, she was timelining me, trying to think that was quite
long
old,
you were.
Certainly, she's my good friend, and she knows that we are good sports.
Yeah, it was good. So I knew he could handle it. I was just trying to link how long he was dealing with culture, and I applauded when a leader of a government can line a ministry up that suits one's personality. And that's why he's doing so well with culture, because I know he loves it in his thatch hat and all that sort of stuff. And that's where the timelining came out, how long he's been into culture. But yes, it shows. And I just want to welcome you both. And for those who are just joining us, I have two key members of government, the Honorable Premier of the Cayman Islands, Premier André Ebanks and Minister Isaac Rankine, who is here with me today, as we are definitely celebrating their 1-year anniversary. That's today, right?
It is 1 year of our first cabinet meeting,
Okay.
the
Okay.
NCFC government.
And it's so happened that it landed on another cabinet meeting today.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So there
Each
must have been,
Wednesday.
yeah, that must have brought back a lot of memories. And, you know, the meaningful momentum, that speaks volumes of exactly what you've been doing, because you're saying it's your first cabinet meeting, but you look at off to the races, you've come together with the coalition government. There's 3 different identities or groupings, but yet at the center of it all, meaningful momentum with the people at the center for the greater good. Congratulations is all I can say.
Thank you. That means a lot, my friend, and it's good to see you and be with you. When we reflect on 1 year, we're often asked, how are you all doing? How is it working? How is it to be in coalition again? And I bring it right back to the start. When the dust was settled, we all thought we need to give the country a government that can work in a unified fashion to keep the interests of the people of the Cayman Islands first. Is the only way that we can see that we have a chance, a strong chance, to resolve long-standing issues, get to the core of them, rather than cans being kicked down the road, and then be able to advance the country from strength to strength. And to put real sort of structure around that, we identified right away, right from the beginning, that we needed a coalition agreement. Set out in transparent fashion what principles we're going to abide by, how we're going to operate, how we're going to resolve difficulties, and what is going to be our broad and strategic outcomes. And rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, rather than trying to come up with that on the fly at the very beginning of the term, there's a budget process, there's a strategic policy statement. Let's just have our operating agreement, i.e. coalition agreement, tied to the budget outcome. So that way there's a synergy and a logic to it that the country can track and measure us against. And once we sort of had that sort of framework, and it was in a structured and coordinated way, I think then that really then had the group sort of gel. I remember that day signing the coalition agreement.
Yes.
All of the interactions so far had been positive, but then this just sort of solidified this is the manner in which we're going to operate. And it's what continues to drive us to move things forward. Doesn't mean that there aren't differences of opinion, strong points of views.
Yeah.
We'll know when we're coming into a topic in caucus, like, all right, we know this is how person A feels about it. We know this is how person B feels about it. Everybody hold tight, take a deep breath, we're going to get through it. That's what the country needs. The country doesn't necessarily want everybody doing exactly the same thing as if you're just zombies on a train. You need that diversity. The beauty is in the mix. As long as we're doing it in a professional and organized fashion, keeping respect and integrity, and keeping the people front and center.
That's
And I agree with the Premier on that. And the one thing that has kept us focused, as the Premier said, we haven't always had the same sort of agreement on everything. But the one thing that keeps us focused is that we know that we are doing this for the people of the Cayman Islands. We know we work on their behalf. They're the ones who've employed us to work on their behalf.
correct.
We are not ever going to see eye to eye on every single thing. We express our opinions, we express our thoughts, but we do so respectfully.
That's it.
Right.
And with doing that, we have come to where we are now. 1 year down the road, we've achieved much as the NCFC government.
Indeed.
Yeah. I see where there is, and I see inspiring. You're watching us in a vertical mode. You need to change it to horizontal. I see where you're watching us on YouTube, and you'd have to do that. I'm giving persons the option to see it. So I'm seeing where you're watching me on vertical mode. You just do it to horizontal, and you'd be able to see my guests' faces. So we give you two options on the platform based on if you're on a smart device, and we will definitely, you have to change that. That's on your end. So my apologies there. We see, I'm sharing here on the screen this QR code so that persons can read it because everybody's in digital format. And I applaud you guys for that as well. And for everything that you have accomplished thus far. Many persons are saying, I'm not seeing my representative and I don't understand it. You know, when you look at this document and you see what you've already accomplished, what's in the works, and what's coming, and you compile that with the strategic policy statement, what would you say to those persons who are just not understanding the workings of government and don't feel that they can touch you, or they're not feeling what you are vocalizing in their homes or their immediate spaces at this time?
As you know, because you know the space all too well, you've been a minister, and it is very, very challenging because think of the reflecting on your time, the life, particularly of a minister, also a PS, but in addition, a minister, you are juggling matters at a constituency level, at a district level, and then once you're in ministerial capacity, you're then dealing with things at a national and sometimes an international level. Look at us as panelists for you here today. In equal portions, sports is international. Aspects of children legislation goes international with treaties that have to be extended. Heritage can sometimes be international because you're then dealing with other governments and seeing what their cultural policies are. And then if you look at me in terms of financial services, has a clear international component. So yes, it is challenging to juggle all of that and then still get to see as many people as you want to. This is why, as you remember, we'll try to run out of Parliament in December and not be there till Christmas because everybody knows you want to get out there to see your people, as many as you can during the holiday period, as many as you can in the Easter breaks. Because once you're then moving within, trying to move national policy forward, it is time consuming. The converse of that is if you spend all your time in the constituency and you didn't move national projects forward, the people who really keep a keen eye on national projects, well, what are they doing? I don't see this problem being resolved. What's happening with immigration reform? So it is a balance, but I think what the listening public, I think what we would like them to know is that just because you may not necessarily see us physically, know that you're in our hearts. And if we're producing the results to advance the country forward, we're doing that for you. And we will try to get to you as quickly as we can, particularly when we have those holiday breaks.
And a lot of times they say perception is reality, and in our job that we do, that is true, but it is reality because of what we are doing on behalf of the people of this country. Again, like the Premier said, we sit sometimes as a PS, as a minister, but first and foremost as an MP. That's what got us where we are today. And certainly, I have not been in the district as much as I'd like to because of what my job entails. I'm making an effort. I'm making an effort to ensure that we touch people in different ways because you won't get a chance to see everybody every single day.
Correct.
Reaching out and speaking with people, making phone calls, that is something that we all have to get grasp with and ensure that we stay in contact with our constituents.
Correct. You know, Minister Rankine, I'll just continue with you. Your ministry spans through social development, youth, sports, culture, and heritage. What initiatives, you know, from year one, do you believe have created this momentum that Caymanians feel into going into year two? Because like you alluded to, with everything that you've been doing, you're seeing, Premier, you're in the room. I'm alluding for Carafesta to be hosted here.
One of the things that we've done, and especially when we brought back the Emancipation Day, that was something that Caymanians coalesce around. It was something. It was so heartwarming for me the first time that we had it, which was in 2024. We weren't able to do such a big splash in 25 because it happened right at the election, at the end of the election. So we couldn't do anything about that. But we've now moved and morphed into what we call Heritage Month. And as you can see, so much has been accomplished. We did Emancipation Day. We kicked it off with a fantastic gospel concert that was, the attendance was far more overwhelming than I expected it to be.
Powerful.
And people were expecting that kind of performance. and for us to deliver that for our country, bring our people together. And that was one of the ways. And I was so pleased with the turnout for that gospel concert. We
Mhm.
have we've been doing events in Cayman, we've been doing events in the BRAC, because I've also believed that we are one country. So if we do here in Cayman, we're going to be doing it in the
Of
BRAC,
course.
right? We must not forget the people in the BRAC who's part of the Cayman Islands. So we have still lots more stuff to do. We have stuff that's coming up further in the year culture. We're going to be having Pirates Week, and we're looking forward to next year Pirates Week, which is also the 50th anniversary of Pirates Week in Cayman. So it's going to be something really, really big for
Oh,
us.
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
But combined with the Heritage Month, but also Child Month on the social development side.
Mm.
And there were many activities that we have done to promote Child Month, which is going to be ending with a church service next week, Saturday in the BRAC.
Mhm. Okay, excellent. Congratulations on that as well. I was happy to be a part of that. And the
As a-
tea party, I saw the pictures coming out for the tea party. Oh my goodness, that was really dainty.
I only have two follow-on points as an extension.
Yes.
One, Sabrina, you will recall that the decision around Emancipation Day was not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, remember?
Very well.
I would say now, skipping forward to 2026, the amount of pride that it's actually pulled people in, they've understood it in its full historical context.
Correct.
It's a remarkable thing. And that the concert, the gospel concert that the minister is referring to, remember we did 2 greetings.
Yeah.
Because when we first greeted the crowd when it started at 7, and it was a strong crowd, hundreds of people there. But then when we looked around by 8:00, and it was like, I think there's nearly 2,000 people here.
Well, it was so bad, police, RSIPs had to give traffic alert.
And more chairs had to come in from Massive.
Yeah,
Right?
we had to bring in more chairs, but when I saw a video that looked at the crowd, I was guessing that it must have been close to 3,500 people who attended. We were not expecting that.
Wow.
It goes to show that what the country needs to bring us together, but also that they're asking for more of this. Everyone
Yes.
I've seen say, when are you going to, because that brought the country together. So the Emancipation Day, just going back to the premier saying that it was not everybody's cup of tea. But you look when we moved it from 2 years to where we are now.
No.
But it gives us now an opportunity for us Caymanians, to tell our story about who we are, where we come from.
And I think that point is now more entrenched in the community than it was when it first started. The other point that I'll pick up on, just in terms of your comment and observation, that people say, well, what are they doing? On that Emancipation Day weekend, where you also had Child Month, remember you were dividing in 2.
That's right.
There was Emancipation Day service on Sunday, which was in West Bay at John Gray Memorial, but there was also the kickoff Child Month
in Georgetown.
What does the minister do? He can't be in 2 places at once. His ministry is organizing events around these 2 national topics of child and emancipation. He has to choose one. So if you went to one service and didn't see him, you might say, well, where is he? And I had to choose, because I would love to go on. I was invited to both. Do I go to Child Month? Do I stick in West Bay and go to Emancipation Day? These are the choices that we have, where just because you may not see us, we're still there in spirit.
Correct. Well, I've been watching you, and I look at all of your social media comments and seeing what you all are doing, and it's like, do you guys catch your breath? And Premier, your portfolios, you got financial services, commerce, and of course cabinet office.
Yes.
When
indeed.
you look at all of that, and you were traveling around the world, people were asking, why are you traveling with everything that's happening, with geopolitics and all of this sort of stuff? Where do you feel the government has made meaningful progress that sets the stage for, again, in the theme, continued momentum?
So I'll start with, I think, what I see as one of our rock solid achievements. Actually 2, because they came chronologically one after the other. You've been in the room, not easy to forge a budget. You have to get folks around the table, agree priorities, what can actually be achieved, what necessarily is a great idea, but is not as important, but maybe not as urgent as other items. To get that together as a team, get it down to Parliament, go through Finance Committee, and come out with a balanced budget, not an easy exercise.
Right.
The following month, so that would have been November 2025, the following month, to bring to fruition the most significant immigration legislation reform in over a decade and a half, and now have a Caymanian Protection Act that kicked off 1 May,
Mhm.
meaningful momentum. Nobody can possibly deny in my mind that
Mhm.
immigration reform was not a key topic in the 2025 general election. So it should have come as a surprise to no one that this
Mhm.
was going to have to be dealt with by any government that was taking the country seriously.
Okay.
Having done that, and this is an issue that spans across the entire country. You mentioned financial services.
Mhm.
There are some specific pieces of legislation for financial services that maybe mostly around the country the practitioners keep up with. Not so with immigration.
Mhm.
Immigration cuts across the entire landscape of the Cayman Islands. Whether it's because you're working, you're employing someone, everyone. To be able to get that sort of level of agreement within a caucus, get it through cabinet, debate it in parliament, and get it across the line,
Mhm.
I think it was something like 15-0.
Mhm.
Mm.
Is a strong enough feat. If it was easy, it would have been done before.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get that through, and then all the other pieces that we move down the field. Meaningful momentum. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
that it's done, but I think that what we've shown the country is that we have solid deliverables, show that we can work in a unified fashion, and should give hope that there is more on the way.
Right. Now, I want to keep up with some of the comments here as much as I can. We see where Jairus Miller is saying it is refreshing to have a government and premier that tells us what they intend to do, then go out and does it. If you agree with something they're doing or not, the transparency is, I'm thinking that's refreshing. And they're saying thank you. So that's a comment.
Thank you, sir.
And we see where Connie is saying, yeah, that concert needs a replay. I enjoyed it.
Watch this space coming soon next year.
I hope she was there because it was.
Yeah, she was. And she was in her. One of the feedbacks that I got, gentlemen, is that they were expecting more persons in their Cayman Pride shirts. And that again, as we continue to educate, as you continue to be on platforms such as this, and Minister Rankine, you would see where the education element and us embracing who we are as Caymanian, that was the only feedback that I was getting. They were expecting to see a sea of Cayman in those shirts, in those, just feeling that. That was all I got back. That was all I
Yes,
got.
and I agree, and we could probably push that more, but as Caymanians, we go into a gospel concert. We
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
dressed nice, you know that.
It was a different mindset. I got
Different
caught up in it too. It was,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I went. I wasn't dressed to the nines, but I didn't have on the shirt. But yes, it certainly is something that we can consider and encourage people to do for the next event that we have like that, because that is one thing that people want. They want to see that national pride, because they never
Right.
done anything like that. Because Emancipation Day in 24, when we launched that, and we started selling those Caymanian Proud shirts, it was
Mhm.
overwhelming the amount of people that came to the government building to purchase those shirts over a period of 3 days. It was overwhelming. We actually ran out.
Yeah.
We ran
Yeah.
out and we had to order more shirts.
And they become commonplace.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the grocery store. I wear mine to play pickleball.
Wow. I'm a cap girl, so I keep wearing the cap from those days. I wear the cap. I got away with
The other
murdering
thing is
cap.
that what we're trying to do is to promote our culture and heritage more in our
Correct.
schools. It's in partnership with the Education Minister of Education. We are doing that. Early in the term, like last year, he had reached out about ensuring that we start to do that in the schools. And then we were invited to a number of schools. And when I went to all of the classes,
Right.
especially East End, every single class had what they call their own culture and heritage corner. And it was so refreshing and it warmed my heart when I could see the children stand up and explain every single item that was on display.
Wow.
It really, really warmed my heart that we are actually doing something about that now.
Okay. I have some graphics that was shared here with me. This is a snapshot, if you can see it here on your screen, of the NCFC government year in a snapshot. We're seeing where there's 235 plus more children with access to early childhood education. And you see this graphic here. What would you like to say in regards to this? And of course, as it applies to your respective ministries and departments.
So if we were to take those in turn, and again, that's a snapshot because there's
Yeah.
more that comes to mind
Correct.
when you look at that. So more and more children getting, that's almost doubled in terms of education support, early education support to assist working families. Visitor arrivals, I think March 2026 was the highest day over on record ever in the Cayman Islands, not just for the term, ever. Registered companies,
Mhm.
business and financial services continues to grow. And that's just companies. There are other vehicles, there are partnerships, there are trusts. So there's more that we could even add to that. CCTV, let's stick a pin here. For the first time, 21 CCTV cameras in the BRAC. At first time, shows that the caucus, as championed by the member for BRAC West and Little Cayman, Minister Nick, making sure that we're as inclusive as possible. We're not the Cayman Islands if we're not including the sister islands.
Right.
Anti-corruption, making sure that the guardrails are strong. And then protecting spaces.
Yeah.
We had a protection order the other day on Earth Day. I think it was 6 protected areas. We came into office, secured the BRAC Lighthouse land, about 125 acres. And that was our first cabinet meeting in the BRAC, taking the environment seriously. There's other things that are up there. Minister Jay delivering for the first time ever in the country a 10-year housing policy so that you can have the issues studied. What are the short, medium, long-term goals? It's just a lot of work. And on this show, I really do want to yield some airtime because you already put it on the screen. And other media outlets during this week, we've talked about other areas, but I really, while we have the minister here, hone in on some of the deliverables for identity, culture, and heritage. And then what I'd like to do is we get a bit more granular, kind of shift to financial services.
Of course.
One of the things you and I have talked about is financial services primarily is sometimes talked about within financial services gatherings. More mainstream so people understand the power of the industry and how it affects their daily lives. But I do really want to yield some time to the minister in terms of culture and heritage and your social development and innovation.
Yeah.
Because there's other takeaways. The EID launched.
I was just going to say, so I'll start with the EID launch. We've launched that. That's the first time you should have a digital ID for people. It's not mandatory right now. So anybody can go and get it. If you want it, you get it. If not, but you can see the benefits of it. One of my staff in the Ministry of Social Development went to a hotel recently, and when they asked them what Caymanian, to pull that card out, and it says Caymanian in it, and they got the waiver of the tax.
Oh yeah, the duty.
On the tax, the
room tax.
Oh, nice.
That's all they had to pull out and show. So there's so many benefits. I use it as my regular form of ID now. I don't use anything else. I used to use my driver's license. This is what I pull out of my wallet now.
Because for many of us, there's nothing that you have, which was the whole argument behind this. The whole advantage of it.
Yes.
That one item in your hand that said who you are and that you're a Caymanian.
Yeah. That was a big win for us to launch that. We've not only launched it in Cayman, we've launched it in the BRAC and Little Cayman as well over the agriculture show weekend in the BRAC and Cayman. So that was also done. Between the Premier Minister and I, we launched the Digital Transformation Strategy Task Force, and that has been going well, looking at various different things in AI. They're looking at if we're going to need regulations or if we're going to need legislative reform to ensure that people use it in the way it is designed to be used and not used for nefarious reasons.
Right.
We've done that. We've doing stuff for amending the regulations for older persons, the Child Children's Act. So we're doing quite a lot of things that's going to be coming to Parliament for ratification soon. But one of the other things that we've done quite recently, especially in the District of Eastern, we are starting to the multipurpose court of East End, and this is going to be the first one that's been done ever by government. It's going to be covered. It's going to have sports being played there, such as basketball, netball, volleyball, pickleball. It's going to be covered. It's going to have bocce ball court, and the Special Olympics people are excited about that because they will have another avenue now, another area where they can also play pickleball.
Correct.
Basketball, sorry.
Mhm.
But certainly I see us doing these kind of spaces in the district so that we can inter-district competitions
Mhm,
and
mhm.
competitions with our colleagues. Maybe I go and play pickleball with on the people in West Bay. You never know, no?
Yeah, you
So
never
once we
know.
get our pickleball course, Minister Rutty, he's an avid pickleball player.
And he's good. He's probably the best one around the table.
He used to be.
Oh, wow.
He used to be before he got elected. But certainly, I mean, so we're doing things like that. I mean, building these spaces for people and families so we can bring our families back together. And so I'll keep people updating people on what we're doing. We're very excited about the upgrades to the Truman Borden complex that we're going to be doing.
Mm.
We have a world and a stadium. It's a national asset, and it needs to look and appear and feel that way when we go there. So we're working to ensure that that's what happens. Maybe again, we'll be able to bring a Carifta here again very soon because we'll have our upgraded facilities.
Mhm,
We're
mhm.
looking at so many other things that will bring our culture and heritage to the forefront because I'll give you a little story. When you are trying to date me, the timeline, you see, when you're trying, I started working at the Harquail in 1992, 93. And
Uh-huh.
up to that point, for me, culture and heritage was just hard work.
Wow.
That is what I had to do for help my parents put food on the table. That is what my father taught my father, what my father taught me, and what the extended family taught us about living up in Cayman. It was people like the late Dave Martins and Henry Mutu who gave me that opportunity to be in the Harquail. And then they started to instill in me that we have something that we must protect,
Mhm.
right? And then after spending time with them, then I realized, wait a minute, no, this is not just that. This was our way of life. This is our culture. This is our heritage. And this is what made us who we are.
Mhm.
When our people, our seamen went to sea, it was that kind of hard work that was instilled in them that made them the great seamen, the best seamen in the world,
Mhm.
and what helped build this country. So things like that, we shouldn't forget. We should be telling our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren these stories so they'll live on in perpetuity, so that they'll know who we are as a people in this country.
That's right. So what's in store? What are we looking forward from your ministry? I know that for the sake of our viewing and audience, can you just outline what departments fall under your constitutional remit? Because a lot of times you just hear the ministry, but they don't understand that they're actual direct departments that fall in your responsibility.
Okay, well, I have Department of Sports. I have Department of Youth. I have this is under the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage. I have and the SAGCs that fall under my responsibilities: the museum, the National Gallery, the Cayman National Cultural Foundation. So they all fall under my remit. Then we have our heritage unit and an events management unit. So we have the Celebrate Cayman that was morphed into our events management unit, and they're the ones who are the backbone behind a lot of these events that you see putting on. So I need to give a shout out to all of our ministry staff in both my Ministry of Youth, Culture, and Heritage and Sports, and also the Ministry of Social Development and Innovation. We cannot be and would not have been able to do this without their support and leading us and guiding us and helping us deliver these for the people of Cayman.
Definitely, thank you.
So that's on this
Sports side.
on the youth, sports, culture, and heritage side. And on the social development side, we have the Older Persons Council, we have the Disabilities Council, we have Department of Children and Family Services, we have the Department of Financial Assistance. So, and then we have innovation, which under innovation falls Computer Services Department, we have e-government, we have cybersecurity. So we have quite a lot. We have our hands full. We have.
I just want that was deliberate because you are the minister that's responsible for that budget that covers all of the departments that falls under your ministerial and constitutional remit. And I deliberately did it so you could see the magnitude, the scope of your ministerial responsibilities.
And then under the Department of Children and Family Services, for example, we have the care homes, Keys, the Bonaventure, and they all fall under that. And that is all part of us taking care of our kids, those that need additional support and additional help. So we have a lot that we are working on. I mean, it is so much more. We probably need about 2 sets of Sabrina shows, maybe 3 or 4. to explain
We're
to
here.
what
We're
we're
here.
doing. And we certainly, I'll put my hand up that I'm going to be coming back to explain, because we need to let people know what we're doing so
Oh,
that they
it's
can
true.
see, they
It
may
makes a
hear.
world of a difference.
and
It
they-
makes a world of a difference.
Yeah. So so we also are doing a lot of other things. We're making amendments to the Disabilities Acts. Yeah. We're putting in regulations for the children's legislation, and that means that we'll be, when we're done, when we've completed doing that, we'll be how should I say? We would have completed obligations on the international front from the UN and the Lanzarote Convention and stuff like that. So we'll have completed those. So we're in the process of doing that legislation, those legislative amendments, updates or regulations to ensure
Right.
that we meet the criteria to ensure that we stay compliant with all of those things. We launched an adult safeguarding group, which is something that we had focus on the youth, focus on the older persons, but we were missing that gap of adults, which is the age of 24 to 60. So we formed a task force to look at that and how we can also attack the issues and problems that we find in that age group as well.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, just hearing you, I tired. And you know, it is a lighter moment, but this is why information is power. And not that you're getting a cop out by any means. I'm so happy that you're able to find the time to come and explain, to give a bird's eye view of exactly all that's going on, what's in motion, what's in store, what's actually happening right now, and give an idea of what's to come. And the public needs to know this. And I am happy to say that you are going to try and carve out some time to just be able to break it down so that people will understand. And I'm really looking forward to the continued relationship as we continue to build and educate and inform. And you can see based on the comments that are coming through that it is appreciative. So yeah, kudos to you.
I saw one of your comments that said, ask if there's still t-shirts available.
T-shirts
Yes.
available, yes.
T-shirts
Oh,
available.
yeah.
So there's more Caymanian Proud t-shirts available at the seat there. Yeah, the Caymanian Proud, if they're still available, and they're available at the Intergenerational Hub, and that's up near where DHL is located.
Okay,
Also,
there we go. And there's also a personal message that I'll send
there's
you. And
also-
I think you saw it on the thing about someone needing water, access to water, an elderly person. So I'll share that with you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, in your constituency. But go ahead, Honorable Premier.
And then some of the other
Oh,
comments.
unless sorry, if you weren't finished.
Yeah, so and some of the other coming stuff on the sports is also that we are finalizing the process so we can have groundbreaking for the 50-meter pool, and that's really big and exciting. for us.
Finally, yes,
Yeah.
great,
We're down to the
excellent.
end of it now. So
Oh,
we're going
wow.
to be groundbreaking very soon, and be very excited about that, because that would also give us some, I don't want to say it, but I want to leave it for a later time.
Okay. We'll stick a pin. We'll just stick a pin right there.
We leave it for another time, because once we have it all finalized, give
Yeah.
some details on that.
Excellent.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, definitely. Something to look forward to in addition to everything else that you've outlined.
And I still find time to cook chili, imagine.
Can't you give me a little secret? That could be the hook. Honorable Premier, I know you, oh my goodness. It must be something, because you were deputy premier prior, and now you are premier of the Cayman Islands of a coalition group, 3 different sets of people. You also have ministerial responsibilities. How do you do it?
Grace of God.
Find your own line. Mercies of God.
Grace of God.
Yep.
I've told people at home, and I've told people just recently overseas in Asia, it's a sacred duty. To one, be an MP. They're only 19.
Yeah.
You have the ability to be with a team to help shape the future of the country. It's a sacred duty. It's an honor to be among, and everybody around the table is a leader in their own right, whether they're PS and they're leading bespoke projects, whether they're leading in their constituencies, whether you're a minister and you're leading ministry teams, in some cases dual ministries. And then whether you're in the post of premier and you're trying to also lead the caucus,
Yes.
sacred duty.
Yeah.
And we have to always be mindful of that. And we're here for a time. Everyone is here for a season. You try to do as much good as you can, as quick as you can, and keep people first place.
Mm-hmm.
I think for financial services, to just reiterate what I said a few moments ago, it's quite often discussed and explained and described in financial services gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time to bring that more mainstream so people can understand the nature of it, the magnitude of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's our most powerful economic driver right now. So to be able to go overseas and thank clients for their business,
Mm-hmm.
particularly as the U.S. would be closer in proximity, so people would understand that,
Mm-hmm.
and they see us more often because they tend to the clients they tend to frequent our conferences here.
Mm-hmm.
But Asia is quite a distance away, and I think it touched some of the clients to say, "You came this way to thank us for our business," and these are significant institutional investment management houses,
Mm-hmm.
institutional banks who understand financial services, understand it in its tax neutral context. That what we do is essentially provide products where the investor in each product pays their home tax.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever the investment vehicle is doing business pays tax there. We just don't charge an additional layer of tax because we're happy to live off of the license fees, the tariffs, and the service providers who also gain fees, whether it's accountants, lawyers, bankers, mutual fund administrators, that then provides jobs.
Yeah.
Then have the Caymanians who are not just, it used to be when I was leaving law school, just maybe 4 or 5 disciplines: lawyer, accountant, banker. But there's so many other facets to financial services now, not just in the financial services disciplines, but the ancillary services,
Mm-hmm.
marketing, IT. You can't go without IT if you're running a proper firm now.
Mm-hmm.
Though you may not need to be a lawyer if you're more handy with IT.
Mm-hmm.
You know how sacred IT jobs are these days?
Hmm.
To be able to go overseas, you've seen the students, I've seen the students who are now coming home with masters in AI.
Mm-hmm.
That talent has to go somewhere. If you're now in sort of creative design, business development, helping people communicate the power of their businesses to attract other businesses, HR. These are now massive multi offices that need HR. So that's part of what was on our minds for immigration reform and ensuring that we're advancing education. So we're proud of the work and the synergy between Minister Anglin and Minister Miles
Right.
to take individuals from pre-K all the way up to graduate degrees and then get them into the workforce. So at the end of the day, we're as much as possible getting Caymanians in the jobs that they're qualified for, and where there is a remainder, then there's naturally going to be necessary foreign labor. So that industry is so powerful and then feeds other industries.
Right.
So if you're coming here to visit for a conference, you're feeding tourism. If you're now employing from overseas the practitioners here who are then in turn hiring Caymanians, another effect on the economy. If you're now having businesses that expand, that's going to cause construction, that's going to fuel the local commerce. If a law firm has a particular favorite food service, that's going to feed local commerce. So when you sit back and stand and look back at how interconnected everything is, it's not that you're trying to say, well, financial services is a great thing on its own. No, it is part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So if a lot of that profit that's being generated is coming from overseas clients that are doing business, and they have competition these days. It may have been the case 20 years ago that it might have been Cayman Islands as a jurisdiction and maybe a notable 2 to 3 others.
Mm-hmm.
Now other jurisdictions have caught on, have taken inspiration from some of the pioneering jurisdictions legislation, creating similar products. The clients have choices now. What keeps them there is our efficiency, our cutting edge legislation, the skills of our practitioners. Our political stability is key. I was, like I said, just in Asia. People watch our news. I think I've made this comment in Parliament. You can't now just look at it and say, this is why we're always on our time trying to be as disciplined as possible.
Oh, yeah, they're watching.
It's
I'm
not to
telling
say
you.
that you shouldn't just be disciplined for your local people, because
Correct.
we all came up with manners, but it's also to add the further dimension that
Mm-hmm.
the world is now watching.
Mm-hmm.
So your conduct matters.
Mm-hmm.
Ability of the country matters. They don't run to do business if things shift so quickly and they're not quite sure things could move and it's disruptive. People want a stable, safe place to do business.
Correct.
So
Correct.
to be overseas and to see in a touching way clients step forward and say, I can't believe you made the journey. I know how long I've been utilizing Cayman Island services, and to see that you made the journey, it's going to encourage me to continue to utilize the jurisdiction even more.
For people not understanding, we've seen images of you in Asia, and they're like, well, what the heck? That doesn't, it's just spending money. How am I going to feel that? I know you explained that about how we benefit from it. But again, I want you to understand the importance of breaking it down to the everyday man, because there is a gap in understanding your constitutional responsibilities, not only as a premier, but also for the departments that fall under you. And just as I've done with Minister Rankine, Honorable Premier, would you be able to share with us those departments or other businesses that connects you where your constitutional responsibilities lie as well, that would justify why it's important for you to travel and network, so that we ultimately feel the benefits here in the Cayman Islands?
Definitely. So you had one of the statistics up in the snapshot, the 99, well, nearly 100,000 registered companies. The registrar of companies, the general registry, falls within the financial services. That means there are Caymanians employed in government that are there to register these companies. It doesn't happen by itself. So if there's an opportunity to either develop more business, to continue registering companies in a safe and a sound way, that provides jobs and economic activity right here at home within the civil service. There's going to be a Caymanian and other persons who are in firms filing those documents with the registrar from the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in private practice, myself and my personal assistants and corporate administrator were all Caymanians.
Mm-hmm.
If that work dries up, then what do? That's the local impact. The local impact is the generating of that business overseas that provides economic activity, employment opportunity right here at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they trust the product, that people are performing and turning around documents and filing documents in a timely fashion,
Mm-hmm.
is continues to be one of our strong sales points.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Monetary Authority, the country's top financial services regulator.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is about over 70% Caymanian, that is regulating businesses from banking to investment funds to trust companies to securities. It's a huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-money laundering division, and they're on the forefront.
Right.
I mean, each of top management, from the CEO and the deputies, are Caymanians,
Mm-hmm.
who are looking to inspire and hire more Caymanians and are planning succession now. Maritime Authority, our shipping registry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say this very slowly, not 16, 60%, 60% of the world's yachts are registered on the Cayman Islands Shipping Registry, the Maritime Authority.
What does that mean? Break
So
it down
that
in layman's
means-
terms. What does it
break this
mean?
down. If you go to a boat show in Fort Lauderdale where there are international ships, if you were to go to a boat show in Europe and you see that Cayman flag at the back of that boat is registered here. To register that boat here costs fees. That's
Mhm.
generating revenue for the country. CEO is Caymanian, Joel Walton, has incredible international contacts, and he's doing this to fly that Cayman flag. Civil Aviation Authority, with planes that are registered here. If you travel around the world and you notice at the end the particular call sign, that is registered here.
Mm.
Director General, Mr. Richie Smith, Caymanian. pioneering these businesses with incredible international contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Was going around within the regions of the Middle East, Europe, Asia, flying the Cayman flag. So that is another product that's under our belt. Department of Commerce, local licensing businesses here. We just had, which is in the annual report, something that you know I was talking about last term. For local businesses, that
Mhm.
particularly Caymanian, multi-generational Caymanian businesses. And as you know, to file your trade and business license application, you need to prove who you are.
Correct.
Prove who's controlling the company, who are the directors and managers, and who are the owners. And under our legislation, unless there's a special set of circumstances, 60% has to be Caymanian, both the managers and directors, and also the owners. If you are a multi-generational Caymanian business and the owners don't move, it's within the family, why every year do you have to file the same documents with the
Over and over. Mhm.
over and over and nothing changes? For the first time, we've introduced multi-year licenses, meaning I'll just pay the fee just like my driver's license.
Mhm.
I'll pay for 5 years. I'll pay for 3 years. My only obligation is if I sell, I need to now notify because the authorities need to know who owns the company. But if it stays the same, just like your driver's license, it doesn't come up to renewal for 3 or either 5 years.
Mhm.
We need those innovations to keep our business as burden without as many burdens as possible. That's also another department that's under the Ministry of Financial Services, Department of Commerce. Licenses, whether it's not you have a food truck, whether or not it's an accounting firm, whether it is a barbershop, those have to be licensed.
Mhm.
And then there's enforcement. If people are wondering this is some particular establishment appears to not have a license, who goes out there? It has to be officers that go and check and verify those businesses. Then if it's a food truck, there's other departments and other ministries that got to check the health of that. So
Mhm.
all of this is flowing from this economy we have based on tourism and financial services that's providing this economic engine of the country.
And if I may, Sabrina, what he didn't say, which is very important, I have departments on me social development. We are not revenue generating, so the revenue that he goes out and earn is what helps funds us to provide the services that the
Correct.
people definitely need to have some help at some point through the
Mhm.
financial assistance. So it is very important that we keep building and ensuring that our clients understand that we are a jurisdiction that is lawfully can do business with. We
Correct.
follow all the international regulations and laws so they can come here and do business. And this is what the Premier has to do, ensure that we continue getting the funds to do the things that we need to do for our people. So it's just as simple as that.
It's all
Yeah, it's as simple as
interconnected.
that. It's all connected.
Exactly.
You're going to have ministries that are dependent on finance because they can't generate. If you're dealing with the most vulnerable, the whole point is that they don't have the revenue to give you
Right.
because they need the help.
Yeah.
Then
And
you'll
so you find other ways of getting it
So
as
the
well. And this is where it
revenue-generating
pays off.
ministries have to then be able to provide for all. This is why in my circles, people might say, well, why not give more to some of the financial services associations who may get grants from government?
Yeah.
But you can't because you have real people who need real services.
Yeah.
That shows the underlying benefit.
Yeah.
New line of business that has been with Cayman for some time, but is now growing in a fashion that and a pace that hadn't been in the past is reinsurance. So if historically we were in banking and we were in investment funds and corporate vehicles, but not this one.
Yeah.
What this provides, as to answer your question about breaking it down, is another business line that's coming to Cayman that one can provide that revenue going to other ministries that need it, but also new job opportunities. Young Caymanians can have a different set of disciplines around insurance that doesn't necessarily exist in banking and investment funds and corporate structure.
Correct.
So that provides a whole other level of talent and expertise that can come to the country and then boost the country's reputation. So you have to see it as parts that make up a whole.
Premier, I know I'm going to come off a little bit, but this is a question that has been asked, and it's two things. I know that the multi-year of trade and business license, there are lots of questions that are needing around that in regards to the incentive. That came to me directly as well. And another question that came before you joined us from a live caller is clarity around the transitional provisions of the new immigration reform. There is some, I don't know if you're able to shed some light on that, on those two topics.
So for the transitional provisions, I think we have good documents and we could send it to you where the minister has compiled a very strong guidance documents, because that would be a lot to unpack. We'd be here a while.
Yeah.
That has, in layperson's terms, the breakdown of what the key terms are and what's continuing and what's not.
Because what was PR, what was being pushed during the public consultation, what was said on multiple platforms is totally different now from what is being said than what ended up being law. So I would really appreciate it if you could get your people in the ministry or your office to send it to me so I can digest it, break it down, which we're known for,
Absolutely.
to try and bring some clarity on it. But it's growing tentacles, and I would want to not miss. Yeah, please.
Happy to send that to you, because I think we are quite pleased with the simplicity of that document, how it breaks down the key terms, what's changing, what's not, what's being grandfathered, what isn't. Let us send that to you. I don't have the website link in my head right now to spout it up, but we'll send it to you afterwards.
Okay.
And then in terms of the multi-licensing, when I have another round of international business next week for the CFATF, and I can unpack what that is in a minute, and some business development next week. Following that week, I plan to come on with the Department of Commerce.
Okay.
Go on CMR. I'm happy to do the evening show, to have the entire show just on commerce, the multi-license, the micro and small business incentives,
Yes.
and also some of the new requirements that are coming around that.
Excellent. Appreciate it. We'll just
that way that continues the continuity that we need to come to you more often, basically.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, we need to come to you more often.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Minister Rankine, I know you are, and I want to just say thank you so much. We got a question here from Mr. Denver, Honorable Premier, because I don't know if you can answer this. Why are we gone from over 400 banks here to about 200? Is there any facts to that?
The exact number, I'll go look, but there has been a decrease because some of that banking business, for regulatory reasons, is no longer relevant. So it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
The way in which international regulations has evolved, that was now appropriately be able to be dealt with elsewhere. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. We've picked up in other areas and concentrated on those areas, because that's part of a business. If there's a product line that has now kind of either lost its rationale or has been overtaken by something else, you need to focus on other areas. So for example, then, since that was now losing some of its rationale, we then now accelerated with investment funds, and now there are over 30,000 investment funds registered with FEMA. So that's not unusual in the context of an entire book of business.
Okay. Minister Rankine, is there any other information you'd like to share with us, or maybe, because I know there's a lot going on, and in regards to this document and what you're looking at, let's just get it out there, because I know you're coming back, and we can dissect even more granular when you're by yourself. But this is a huge celebration for this government, and this is your space. This is your time.
One of the big wins I saw from my Ministry of Social Development was us developing a social housing policy. That was big. And we also have invested in a property that we're going to be issuing a policy and how we're going to use it, but it's to help people in difficult times. It's called transitional housing. Help them for a period of maybe 3 months, 4 months, until they can get themselves on their feet. So we've started to look at that, and we have a property in Georgetown. We're going to be looking at other districts to implement similar policies and initiatives so that we can help our people, because we're in a time now where it is difficult, but as a government, we're doing everything we can to help our people to better themselves in a way, but also ensure that when they need a help, that we are there to offer the help that they need. And that is one of the things that we've done in the social housing space. Okay. But we're looking at other things, again, like the legislative amendments, regulation, implementing those coming up. I think there's the Children's Act that we might be doing in Parliament in June. So there's lots of work that we have going on, and then we'll have to just come back, schedule another show so that we can dissect it a bit more.
Yeah, a little
Bring
bit more.
my policy team so that we can have a good discussion around that, so that people can understand exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, so they know exactly what, when, where, and how.
But and it is good to get into those details, but to reiterate the overall premise,
Right.
we have come to a point in the country where we need what is known as transitional housing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you see a case of homelessness, or you see a family that could be displaced, you know that the housing stock within social housing, as we know it, is
Mhm.
primarily dealt with by private sector landlords that are getting contracts and remunerated by the Department of Financial Assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the system can't move that fast in an emergency system. And where you see these sort of heartbreaking stories where there are individuals who are displaced for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
some of the solution in the past used to be hotels. But that may not be suitable in every case.
Mm-hmm.
And if the hotels, which has been happening, continue to focus on what is their core business, which is those people who are coming to visit the island, then what do we do?
Right.
Government has to have intervention. And I'm so pleased that the minister has taken that work forward to say that we don't necessarily want people to be displaced, but when it happens,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be a response to provide safety on a temporary basis till we figure out what the underlying issues are to get the person hopefully back on their feet, or family back on their feet. So it's an important issue,
Especially their children involved.
especially.
Yes.
Especially their children
So the
involved.
time has come in the country to tackle this.
Yeah.
Now, Primera, as you look ahead for to year 2, what are key areas that you would love to, or even want to see happen maybe a little bit more quicker? This could be from your respective responsibilities or as Premier of the Cayman Islands as a whole. Because we've spoken about pace before.
Yes. So what I think you'll find when everyone hopefully reads the annual report, the anniversary report, is we, for each ministry, set out key achievements and
Mhm.
what's to come to give that insight to the country.
Mm-hmm.
For example, looking at immigration, we know that that's not a finished story.
Mm-hmm.
It was always meant to be a strong start. And then we have other categories to look at, the more permanent categories on the road to citizenship, how
Mhm.
points are accumulated, the residency by investment. Does that program need modification? It's
Mhm.
primarily now dealt with by people who buy real estate. We have a housing challenge in the country. Do we need to modify those rules of the road so that if those who are coming in those more permanent categories invest in other things other than
Right.
real estate?
Right.
Continue to advance affordable housing in the country, accelerate to solar.
Mm-hmm.
The living, major issue. To put this into context, it is something that people mention quite often, as they should. We're all feeling it.
Yeah.
We pay bills too.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that other countries around us are crushing this issue or are completely on top of it. And what's happening with Cayman? How come you can't get on top of it? It's affecting countries globally.
Mm-hmm.
And when matters occur that are outside of a country's power, if there's a conflict overseas that impacts gas prices, not very much that you can do to quell that.
Correct.
But what you can do is to think about how is this impacting us? Where is the opportunity in all of this challenge that we can take the
Mhm.
country forward? We're a Caribbean country
Mhm.
faced with sunlight. Let's utilize that, reconcile the issues between the primary service provider and the regulator and the industry to accelerate the solar.
Mhm.
If you can lower the cost of energy, not just on households, but across the board through the marketplace, then
Mhm.
goods become cheaper and then you have more money in your pocket to buy. Within the report, you'll see the bar graph of the items that are the most expensive for households. By a strong distance, it would be housing and energy costs. Food is here.
Mhm.
Food, for example, you feel more because you go to the grocery store maybe once, twice a week. So you're feeling those costs. but they pale in comparison as to how much it is to run your household in
Right.
terms of energy and the cost of housing. In addition to that, we're also having to strengthen the guardrails in some of the Ministry of Social Development's work around disabilities, older persons, children. From the Minister of Health, you know that the issue that she's focused on saw the latest challenge with the landfill fire the other day.
Yes.
The STEP program need to finally close down the regen deal that was far too expensive that the country couldn't afford, secure additional land, which she has sites on, to give us a breathing space of an additional engineered landfill, lined landfill, gives us about 10 more years capacity so that she has time to plan a longer term affordable solution that's fit for the country.
Correct.
Looking ahead at health insurance, changes have been made for indigent coverage. As you know the issue well, initially it was just those who were part of financial assistance. But what about if you are not a financial assistance client of DFA, formerly NAU? You have insurance, but your ailment has exhausted that. The change has been made on the floor of Parliament. So this isn't pie in the sky. This amendment's already gone through.
Okay.
Getting that program up and running, that you're considered medically indigent. You are hardworking. You have a paycheck. You have insurance, but your ailment is so acute, it's gone past that. What do you do? The legislative change and now the policy has to be finalized to make sure that medically indigent is introduced in the country. Looking forward in terms of healthcare, of expanding on whether or not we need to get to universal healthcare, to lower healthcare costs across the island. Financial services, continue to keep our financial services product sharpened as much as possible. Make commercial enhancements by listening to people when you're overseas and say, I would like if a company could do this, if a partnership could do that. Stay off of international high-risk lists because that slows business down.
Yes.
So that money that comes into the country, if your reputation takes a hit and you end up on a
Correct.
financial high-risk list, and there's less money coming from financial services, that's less that you can give to your excellent point moments ago to ministries like social development that are aid dependent. Minister J, continue working on roadworks. I think we've done a great job and off to a strong start in many districts on roadworks. You know that the East-West Arterial has to be completed. He's on the way to doing that in a phased approach to make sure that this consultation as it takes pace and shape. Looking at education, and we alluded to it earlier with Minister Miles and Minister Anglin of building that national workforce development so that you have a database that shows you these are the Caymanians that are graduating in X year. The market already tells you the jobs that they need because that's why people apply for work permits. Where are the Caymanians that are coming out of university or master's degrees that can fit those jobs? With the data and the technology that we have, that's basically a computer-generated exercise.
Yeah.
Get forward to that. You look ahead in terms of border control, Minister Nick, looking at, okay, how do we make it easier in terms of traversing the border, the technology? You go through other countries and they have facial recognition. It identifies you, you just walk straight through.
Whatever happened to that? Why don't we have biometrics here now? Why?
So those are the items that needs to be explored. I just connected through Houston and I didn't pull out the passport.
Exactly.
I looked into this big giant screen like I'm looking at this monitor now. The officer looked at me. As long as the screen went green, I went through.
Gone.
The line's gone. So as you look around the table of the things that we're getting geared up, as we start to close some of these long-standing problems that have plagued the country, to get the foundation right, we can then accelerate to some of these other areas that I just mentioned to take the country even further and create stronger, fairer Cayman.
Okay. Lisa had a question here that she said, sorry, Minister, I'm coming to you one sec. Sabrina, I have a very important question to ask before our Premier André Ebanks and Minister Isaac Rankine leave to show all of these big buildings that are happening. Who is going to occupy them is the question.
So I think that may be in terms of private sector building, I'm going to assume. If that's the case, that when developers plan a development, there would be a business case within their private sector that they can see that there'll be business flowing from it. Otherwise, I don't know that
Yeah.
they would do it and lose their investment. So in the case of developments that you see around Cayman Bay, we know that there are businesses that are expanding, getting bigger, and need
Mhm.
bigger space. But what that actually leads me to is a point that may not have naturally come up in our areas that I do want to add here. We know that there has been tension between development as an industry,
Mhm.
stakeholder group, and the environment as a stakeholder
Mhm.
group. Again, not pie in the sky. Government looking at this, knowing that it's a tension point, have to get ahead of it. Are planning right now a relevant stakeholder consultation and
Mhm.
seminar that we're calling Cayman Forward, where surveys are going out now to relevant stakeholders to say, what are the areas, if you're from the development side, that you feel are pain points in dealing with environmental legislation and policy? And
Mhm.
equally, not lesser, but equally, from the
Mhm.
environmental side, where are the pain points that you see in development and planning and policy that you think need to work better?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the two need each other.
Yeah.
You need a beautiful island because that's why people are coming to have tourism, but you also need the infrastructure that people, you and I travel
right.
extensively, and you go to other places and you really do marvel at the infrastructure that Cayman has to offer.
Mhm.
Continue to have us to be a strong, sophisticated jurisdiction, country to live in.
Yeah.
So if these now stakeholder groups are ending up in court having litigation costs, attorney costs, is that in the best interest of the country? No. Or do you
Mhm.
need government to facilitate and say, you two ministers seem to get along fine in caucus.
Mhm.
You lead ministries and industries where there seems to be tension. Let's get them into a room,
Correct.
find out where there needs to be any sort of modest modifications to make the system work better. So if you see the big buildings, going back to the original question, do they need to be in particular areas and other areas are protected like we've been doing? If we need to go higher because there is a housing challenge in the country's land stock is finite. We're a small country. Do we need to
Mhm.
go higher in certain areas? If so, how high? Does the density of yards needs to be a bit smaller? I'm not saying these are things that are mandated now, but there are things
Right.
that we have to grapple with and think about to plan for the future for the next generation. If these intelligent Caymanians are coming back, hopefully we have their brains at home and then they start, as they should, creating families of their own. I hope Jackson and Savannah come back home with families. Where do they go?
Mm.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to get to grips with this, lower the acrimony and tension, and have the systems work better together.
Okay.
Certainly, I think some of those big buildings too, especially like the hotels, would have had built relationships with other brands to enable them to put people in those rooms. For example, the Grand Hyatt,
Mhm.
right? So I fully endorse what the premier has said, and it's just going to be pretty much you have to there must be balance.
Yes.
Mhm.
Be balance in what we do.
Mhm.
And Sabrina, I just want to just touch quickly on one other thing that I
Sure.
forgot to mention, which I think is very important, and that's us establishing the office of the Commissioner of the Children and Young Persons.
Nice. Congrats.
Mhm.
And that's a body that's established as an independent oversight body to look after the business and the affairs of children and young people.
Right.
So we're looking to have that done this year, and that's going to be a big win for us and our country.
Well, we really need to know more on that for sure. Yeah. Well, this is an opportunity now as we wind down this episode of Sabrina Speaks. And let me just say thank you so much for taking time out of your afternoon as we celebrate here with you on the Sabrina Speaks platform. And I'm hoping that, of course, he will see much more of you as we continue to keep and elevate and educate, keep our community informed as to what, from the government's perspective, and also to just share with our community here on this platform exactly what's going on. But I'll ask both of you, you can choose whoever want to go with this, answering this question first. What would you like to say directly to the people of the Cayman Islands as you mark this 1 year milestone?
Okay. Well, what I want to say is that I want to thank them for giving us this opportunity.
Mm.
Thank them for allowing us to work together as a national coalition for Caymanians. We've been working hard for and on your behalf, and we will continue to do that. Well, for me as well, as long as God gives me breath, I'll continue to work and advocate for my people in the District of Eastern and for the whole of the Cayman Islands. This is not an easy job, but it's made easier in a way
Mm.
by the relationships we have built in caucus and the cabinet. It's made easy in a way by the support we get from our various communities.
Mhm.
But rest assured, I will work and continue to work diligently to ensure that we do what we can for your betterment.
Well said. Thank you so much.
Very well said. I think for my part, I look at it again from the ground up. Can't do the job unless you're an MP. Thank you
First.
to all of our constituents. Thank you for our constituent officers and assistants that help on the ground where we can't necessarily be there, particularly when you're a minister.
Mhm.
Thank you to the parliamentary secretaries who are supporting ministries. Thank you to every minister around the table. Thank you to the civil service. Thank you to our families who have to put up with the late nights, the missed events, when you're spread between competing commitments.
Yes.
I thank the people of the Cayman Islands who it was clear from the 2025 election that they wanted something different. They wanted ego set to the side. They wanted a group that was just going to work in a professional manner. Thank the opposition. We've had some really strong, particularly the last two meetings, where I think it was not the last one, but the prior to last one, where there was a sitting. Because as you know, the days collectively are meeting.
Yeah.
Each day is a sitting. And I think there was one sitting where the speaker said, this is the first time there weren't any no votes. And that wasn't because we all went to lunch and nobody was watching. That was because behind the scenes, we were working together saying, okay, well, what's your issue with this? All right, if I meet you and reconcile that point, can we overall move this forward? That's what the country is looking for. I think the country is done with the tension and the backbiting. They want to see Cayman advance. And what you have in NCFC is a group of individuals who's looking to carry out its mission with integrity, with professionalism, with vision, to do what's right, to create a stronger, fairer Cayman, not just for ourselves, but for the generation and the generation to come. So thank you, and most importantly, thank the Lord above for giving us strength and breath to continue out this work with the rest of our colleagues, because the country needs it.
And I do want to give a shout out to the people that work in my constituency office in East End. They're the ones who have kept the light on while we are burning the light down on this end. They kept the light on that end. I want to thank them tremendously for the work that they put in the district.
And the last person to thank, particularly, I want to say, Sabrina, thank you for having us on. You mentioned at the top of the show, so this may be a good way to close it. People feeling like not seeing us, we should see you more. I should see you more. So have it here, recorded, to get you more involved in the conversation of the government. From everything that I hear, the show is doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so
my
much.
friend, continue growing in this new role, and let's have a commitment to see each other more. We miss you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Honorable Premier of the Cayman Islands, André Ebanks, and Honorable Minister Isaac Rankine here as our guests here on Sabrina Speaks as we celebrate with them this first NCFC government in the year's achievement. And of course, you heard it right here. There will be no strangers to this platform. We want to appreciate that endorsement and looking forward to seeing you back. Gentlemen, have a good evening. Again, congratulations and looking for more from you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless.
God bless. There you have it. We want to thank, that brings us pretty much to the end of tonight's special episode of Sabrina Speaks. And again, huge thank you to all of you for participating. Thank you for the early calls and your questions. You can see we're going to wait to get that information to explain the transition clause, and we can break it down here in this space as we continue to share in this 1 year celebration, not only for this NCFC government, but also for us here in the Cayman Islands. Like I've said, they fail, we fail. I want to thank you for all of your continued support. Please don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Lisa is thanking our government. Thank you, government, for your sacrifice of service to us. And a big thank you to your personal family for lending you all to us. Miss Barbara G., congratulations and many thanks for the amazing job that this government is doing. God bless and keep you all safe. Well, yes, we want to thank them again. And moving forward with meaningful momentum isn't just a slogan, ladies and gentlemen. This is a reminder that progress is something that we build together in our homes, our communities, our workplaces, and across these islands that we call home and that we love so much. So whether you agree, disagree, or learned something new here tonight, the most important thing is that you're a part of the conversation. And that's key. That will not end here this evening. Because as Cayman moves forward, when Cayman is informed, engaged, and involved, I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Looking forward for tomorrow. And for all of you, love you lots. To our front uniform staff, thank you all for your service. And to everyone who really, really show up every day, comment, and share, we appreciate you. God bless. Good night. Take care. Until tomorrow.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.